Before we start, please make sure you have our Notes Packet PDF. This will cut down on your note-taking. Also, please print out the skills worksheet or write your answers on a piece of note paper. Thank you. According to a survey by FreshBooks, a cloud-based accounting software company, 69% of self-employed people in the United States say they are happier since quitting their jobs to become self-employed. Additionally, 70% of self-employed people say they have achieved work-life balance, and 55% feel less stressed than they did in a traditional office. Today, we will discuss the differences between an employee, an entrepreneur, and an intrapreneur. By the time we have completed this workshop, you will 1. Understand the differences between working for a company versus working for your company versus leading your company. 2. Learn what and where you are in your journey to your professional goals. 3. With that knowledge, take that next step to living your best professional life. Why do 69% of self-employed people in the United States say they are happier since quitting their jobs to become self-employed? 55% feel less stressed than they did in a traditional office? Here are some of the reasons why people think they would be happier working for themselves. They would have more control over their work. They would be able to set their own hours and work from anywhere. They would be able to pursue their own interests and passions. They would be able to make more money. They would be able to build their own business and achieve financial independence. I can sum it up in one word. Freedom. 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 Of course, it's not just leave your job, set your own schedule, and retire on the beach. The self-employed and the entrepreneurs run into the following pitfalls. The risk of failure is higher. The hours can be long and unpredictable. There is less job security. You must be more self-motivated and disciplined. I disagree with some of the answers above. Not surprising, just very mainstream. I will talk more about these in a minute. But first, I will give you my definitions of each option. Employees work for someone else and are paid a salary or wage. They typically have a set schedule and work hours, and they are not responsible for the financial success or failure of the company. Low risk, low reward. Self-employment and entrepreneurship are often used interchangeably, but there are some key differences between the two. Self-employment is the act of working for oneself, typically as a freelancer or sole proprietor. Self-employed individuals are responsible for their own income, expenses, and taxes. Also, they are the magic, the asset in the company, although they may hire employees to take care of administrative tasks. Entrepreneurs are the visionaries in the company, not the magic. Entrepreneurs are typically responsible for all aspects of the business, from developing the idea to marketing the product or service to managing the finances. Generally, they are ultimately responsible for the success or failure of the business. Well, allow me to retort. The self-employed and entrepreneurs running into the following pitfalls. Let's take these one at a time. 1. The risk of failure is higher. Define failure. Are we talking total or temporary? There is a difference. It's mindset. You'll hear this word a lot today. The difference between being poor and being broke. Broke is temporary. Poor is a mindset. 2. The hours can be long and unpredictable. Yes, but the same can be said about your day job too. If you do not have the correct mindset, there's that word again, you won't be able to do anything other than a job. 3. There is less job security. First of all, when you are self-employed, you own your job. Unless you want to fire yourself, you have all the job security in the world. If you are an entrepreneur, you don't have a job. You have a mission. 4. You must be more self-motivated and disciplined. You need to be this to be excellent in anything. Your job. Sports. A 1%er is a 1%er. Why not be excellent at something you believe in? Risk-reward. Here's a quote from a favorite author of mine. He says it best about how you make money as an employee versus self-employment. Where there is a floor, there is a ceiling. Where there is no floor, there is no ceiling. Chris Brady, co-author of Launching a Leadership Revolution and The Financial Matrix. He also has a wonderful travel book called A Month of Italy. You can make zero if you don't work. No floor. But you can make as much money as you physically can. No ceiling, the sky's the limit. Now let's look at the entrepreneur. We work, we get paid. The team works, we get paid. We don't work, the team gets paid unemployment. As the entrepreneur, you have no floor. As a matter of fact, it can be a pit. But you have no ceiling, and there is no limit to how much you can make. The higher the risk, the higher the rewards. The transition from employee to entrepreneur. If you're thinking about transitioning from employee to entrepreneur, there are a few things you need to do. 1. Do your research. 2. Develop a business plan. 3. Get and understand funding. 4. Build a team. 5. Be prepared to work hard. 6. Get the correct mindset. What if the risk is still not worth the reward? And you're not ready to start your own business, but you want more autonomy and responsibility? Then consider becoming an intrapreneur. Intrapreneurs are employees who are given the freedom and resources to develop new products, services, or processes within an existing company. Intrapreneurs typically have a lot of autonomy and can take risks that would not be possible for an employee. Intrapreneurs often will sometimes take a lower salary for a piece of the action. A percentage of profits. Company stock. Shares of another company that the current company owns. Advantages to company. Their why. Reduction in key employee turnover. Less competition in the market. Loyalty to the company. To sum it all up, to become an intrapreneur, you need to be proactive and self-motivated. You also need to be able to think outside the box and come up with new ideas. Ultimately, the decision of whether to become intrapreneur or an entrepreneur is a personal one. There is no right or wrong answer. It is important to consider your own skills, interests, and goals before deciding. Now, I am going to see where everyone is at on their skill for being an entrepreneur versus an intrapreneur. Please fill in each box 1 to 10 on how much competence you have with each skill. 1 being low-skilled, 10 being highly skilled. You have 3 minutes. Okay, time's up. Now total up your sheet at the bottom of each column. If you scored higher on the skills in right column, have more entrepreneurial tendencies. If you scored higher on the skills in the left column, you have more entrepreneurial tendencies. It does not mean that if you score higher in one category than another, that you can never think of becoming an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur. Today, we walked you through the basics and understand the differences and where you are in the whole big picture. Understanding of the differences between being an employee, an intrapreneur, and an entrepreneur, it's time to decide which path is right for you. If you're ready to take the next step and become an intrapreneur or an entrepreneur, we can help. We offer a variety of coaching and consulting services to help you develop the skills and knowledge you need to be successful. We also offer a membership program that gives you access to exclusive resources and support. In closing, transitioning from employee to entrepreneur or intrapreneur is a big decision, but it can be a very rewarding experience. If you're thinking about making the leap, I encourage you to do your research, develop a plan, and be prepared to work smart. I hope this speech has given you some insights into how to transition from employee to intrapreneur or entrepreneur. If you have any additional questions, the last page of your handout has a list of education, coaching, and entrepreneurial/intrapreneurial opportunities with JK and A. We are Johnson Corbally and Associates. We set people free.